Still got one more round, right? Dun 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 dun.
Another tournament, another W for Paper Rex on map 1. I've got their coach Alex here with me. Alex, you look very, very happy. It's great to see you. Finally, you get to bring him to an international tournament. But tell me from your perspective, what does he actually bring to Paper Rex?
Just a little bit more firepower, I think. It also allows us to move Jason to a different role, and he really likes that role, so it's good for us. Ilya has been wanting to play in the international stage for a long, long time, so he's really, really happy. And I'm very happy for him.
What did you make of his performance on map 1?
So far, so good. I'm glad he started strong. I was a bit worried that he would be shaky, but it doesn't seem to be the case.
Oh, he looked absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, Alex, and best of luck on the next map. Let's see if Paper Rex can keep this up.
Thank you so much for that, Yinsu. Always great to hear from Coach Alex. And how was something doing? Pretty good. Yeah, I think he did all right.
That's the truth.
He's a freak. He really is something special here as we break everything down. We have actually one of the rounds here that kind of illustrates very well what something brings to the table here, Sean, because it is that firepower, man, that this team was missing, and something is giving it to them in spades.
Yeah, look at this round. He was planning on dashing into that cloudburst, and then they were like, nah, audible. I'm going through heaven. I'm shorting the chamber. I'm coming back out, killing the guy backside. You know that grab wheel to stop the guy rotating into the site? It's not stopping me from going screens. He dashes over his own team's grab wheel and pushes screens for the spawn, bro. That's like you.
Yeah, it's literally insane. It's literally insane. And not just that, but like, you know, their whole game plan, like we were questioning, like, how are they going to make this different? They had a new setup every round on that defense.
Yeah.
Like literally. And they're juggling the judge, everything like that.
Yeah, we questioned whether the, crew could absorb that aggression. Turns out they couldn't, right? The double B main aggression, the high-low on B, the judge in male, the judge close A wall. They were constantly switching things up throughout that entire half. Like you said, not one round did they have the same look.
Yeah, and that's so challenging to play against, but a bit of a wake-up call there, I think, for crew, who have certainly been, riding a high as of late. But that being said, right, that kind of like brings them back down to earth a bit here, and they realize like, hey, Paper Rex, these are players not to be trifled with here. That takes us over to our Aim Lab shoot around with Kesnet. We'll continue to talk more about what crew is going to do to try and get themselves back into this one, because Baby Bay, remember, Split was their pick. Now we're going to Pearl, and something tells me Paper Rex should be perfectly fine, and that was pun certainly intended there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what amount of Aim Labs can prepare Kesnet for this jet duel against something who I've seen just tear up this map in other series.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be very, very hard to deal with him. Like, and you know what was huge on that split was that attack off, and we're definitely gonna see him attack off again.
Yeah, because they run the double duelist on Pearl, which is kind of crazy. Usually Jing has been locking Phoenix. You know, people were like, what agent are we not going to see this event? I think it's Deadlock, but some people were like, what about Phoenix? I'm like, no, Jing actually locks Phoenix, and he's insane on it on Pearl.
Yeah, that will be fascinating if we end up getting that one locked in. I definitely want to see that. But, you know, I think it's safe to say, though, that if PaperX continues on this path, it's going to be really, really difficult for Crew to try and see if they can bounce back into this one. We actually did get some words from Coach Adam ahead of map 2 to get his thoughts about this one. Let's take a look.
That's right, I have Atom from Crew here with me now. You've experienced what it's like to play against PaperX's explosive playstyle. How do you counter that onto the next
Again.
map, on a map like Pearl?
Yeah. As you said, this is the first time we experienced it. We already knew, we had an idea of how they play. But now that we experienced that, we now know that we need to impose ourselves, that we need to take a step further, and we know that we have to play first, not let them... Because we gave them the space to play, and now on Pearl we are going to play first than them, and don't give them the space to do their things.
That's a fantastic game plan. Thank you very much for joining me. Good luck on this map, and I'll throw this back to you.
So lag, man. Duh. I'm fucking kidding me.
Golden boy.
Once again, thank you so much for that. You're hearing Coach Adam say, you get...
Too laggy.
Coach Adam say, we gave...
Got them here, and the pace that they might have to play at now is not something they're used to playing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they're going to have to really up the pace if they're going to want to play how PaperX wants them to play here on Pearl.
Yeah, that takes us, as you said, right? That will be their pick, PaperX's pick of Pearl. We've seen them pull off some magic here in the past, wonky compositions, whatever you want to call it. It works pretty much in spades for PaperX here, and you're right. Like, Crew's just simply going to need to have to play in a manner that they're not necessarily used to, and that means, you know, you're changing the thing that brought you to the dance in the first place, which can be quite problematic here, Baby Bay, and one has to wonder if Crew have it in them.
It definitely could be, but like I said earlier, you know, I think this is a game where you have to learn how to adapt, and you have to find ways to beat them. So, you know, if fighting fire with fire doesn't work, maybe you start resorting back to some of your old gameplay very early on in the half, you know, but I think you have to at least give it a shot, because that last map was brutal.
I mean, they are starting on this defensive half, which isn't how they did it to Cloud9, but let's go back to that Cloud9 game where they were up 12-0 going into half. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Crew can play on Pearl, right? They are a very structured team that punishes aggression on a map like Pearl, which is huge, right? The second you get a sniff of aggression on Pearl, you can easily roll off of that and hit the opposite site. That's what Crew is very strong at.
Well, here's your Prime Gaming agent select, and oh, would you know, Phoenix is on the menu. We got a little Phoenix play out here, 2 duelists to line things up here, but I mean, overall, it's like you're playing with a very weird composition, but it's not something that Crew shouldn't be unfamiliar with, because they should have seen this before.
They should have come into this match preparing for this comp, but nothing's going to stop Jing from eating up those orbs.
He's a freak.
He's going to get like 3 to 4 ults this half. And I mean, someone like Jing getting 2 chances in 1 round is just so unfair to me. And the way they use the Blaze, which is the Phoenix wall, for those of you that don't nerd out like me, I mean, he actually gets massive value out of that wall entering the sites to get up like aggressively towards the long. So that's what we need to look out for here on the attack half.
Well, let's see how this all pans out. Can Crew force a map 3, or will PaperX shut it down here and now? Let's send it back over to Doug and Vala.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy and fellas on the desk. Yeah, Sean teed us up for this Phoenix pick, and honestly, given how hot of a play it was on Split, how electric it was to watch them, if not for those pistols, it's a complete stomp. I can't help but think it's going to be really interesting to say. to watch this Phoenix pick, the double duelist comp, against the punishing, softer dealing with aggression that the Dust was talking about from Crew.
Yeah, I love Crew's Pearl, especially the twang they've thrown onto the Viper Harbor. One of the few teams who's actually really sticking to this comp on Pearl. Either way, I also love Paper X's Phoenix. I think in addition to what Sean was talking about the wall for Jing, we also have a lot of Molly combinations that he does, so yeah, we're ready to get into this. 10 seconds for this pistol round. Crew versus Paper X, map 2. And we've already seen 2 pistols lost from Paper X, and Crew success in all of them. This time it looks like Paper X's approach is a lot less considered. In fact, it's Crew going on the crazy aggression here. 4 players through A main.
Oh, hello. Divide just spotted a whole lot with the dog. Drops the flash, gets away. The work wasn't even picked up by Crew there.
Wow, and the defensive wall that Crew is throwing out is really cool, but it's just completely circumvented here through street.
Dave's feeling a little bit of the pressure right off the bat, has to take a step back. Oh, and look at this triple, this 4-player flank, but Devi's there to greet it! Devi and Mindfreak hold them back. They all fall. It's a perfect round for Paper X to kick off this
Wow, so strong.
How fitting for them to get the
Paper X is so strong,
first
man.
pistol after struggling on it so much on split. And again, the coin flip was taken by Crew here, and it fails. That wall, again, was so good at actually denying the B-long while you're stalling as Killjoy by yourself. But they just go through street, and then the follow-up, too, is just so nice. This is the thing about Paper X. Devi was alone in street for so long, and instantly Mindfreak is like, oh, he's alone. Let me come fill his space.
Yeah.
And he's there to start trading with him, and it's just perfect.
No early denial of space by Crew this time around.
Now, there is that high tide going through, and it's actually in front of that turret. So the thing is, Paper X probably don't even know that that wall's being used right now, and thinking that the turret actually should get value in mid, but there's no push anyway, so it doesn't matter. There's that Blaze wall from Phoenix that Sean was talking about, how he gets space on both the B and A sides here. Blocking out Art, denying a push through on that. And they play full post here.
Yeah, really not wanting to take this fight. And you can even see it in how Crew posted up, at least initially. You wonder, because given Paper X's DNA, you'd expect them to scale a little off of that, or at least hold on site, but certainly not the case. And Crew glad not to take the fight. You imagine they're just going to want to die to the spike.
It's interesting here, too, because there's not actually that many ults close for Paper X. So out of all the decisions you take, I think in most cases, yeah, Jing would be close, but instead it's Devi who's the closest.
Interesting, too, that the aggression is a little delayed, but they are going to get out. Forsaken might stay, try to get a kill, not able to do so. And there we go. Paper X win the first pistol, and they win the second round, too.
Nobody in the crowd said question mark. Interesting. Perfect anti-eco again. It wasn't a flawless, obviously, but it could have been. They just got on site. Crew stacked the wrong place.
Oh, now check out what Paper X are doing with this. The attack setup is already back out.
Wow.
It's just in the third round. Light armor for him. Guy hasn't even taken a fight. He's already gifted with one.
And he has one more A2 left over.
Well, that would suck to be sitting in.
And that's what I love about this.
All right, op found. They know what's before him now.
That A main control that we just saw with the Molly, the grab vault too, it's impossible to get through. There's even another nanoswarm thrown to layer on top of that.
Yeah, and the flash over the top to make sure they can't see a thing.
They're going for the reclear here, but this flash is going to be able to get Jing back in. And the rest of the cavalry is coming up as well.
Essentially throwing a pause on the round.
And look, Bogdan's law in effect. They've swapped it to Devi, who's low HP. Something picks up the Spectre, and they're going to go for an A split. As a 5v3.
They have the Seekers all mine invested too, and they're going to flood their way out onto the site. There's surely no way that Crew can hold this back. Just so much power.
They haven't had a chance at a bonus yet, but they've succeeded at converting. So these streaks that we've been so accustomed to throughout this series so far have started off, and they're going to start real hot here. Paper X on this attack.
And this feels like the concern of the conversation we had on Split, right? Imagine had Paper X won those 2 pistols.
Yeah, it would have been a blowout.
Yeah, and
Maybe
given how this,
13-4 or something like that.
yeah, given how this is starting, you can't help but
Oh,
wonder
no.
that looked real shaky.
That is shaky indeed. It's tough here for Crew. I mean, they come out of an LCQ run that we have, I mean, the world has never seen something like that.
Yeah.
From going 0-9 and then qualifying for champs here. But then they come here and they get matched up against Paper X.
How about coming in on a high and getting punched in the mouth right back down?
And they were on a complete high throughout LCQ. They get reset here completely. I mean, you're at a new start of a tournament. It's been a couple weeks. And now how do you deal with this? How do you deal with not having the success right out the gate that you did have during LCQ? How do you deal with not getting the wins that bring your momentum back up?
Marshall for Kesnet, he's playing towards B, Paper X, intent on hitting A, at least initially.
I mean, they're just working picks here with something's off. Again, I talked about how they're so good at getting ops on the line.
Placing swarm grenade.
This A side is just free over and over. And again, it's another eco. Ooh, alarm bot's down, actually. Melzer gets through it, but there's a follow-up turret, so nice.
Planted.
Unlucky, really.
Careful.
They swapped the op again.
Yeah, and it was for something to be able to dash in and get the spike down and then get out. So you're at Divide with that weapon. Crew with an attempted retake here with just the Marshall. Sheriff's surrounding it, but it's going to be a difficult ask regardless. You see the spams going through the utility. Maybe you catch a free one, something lucky to get you going, Jing, on the flash, and there it is. There's the first lucky one.
There is a cove.
You're going to need a lot more luck than this, though. The gravity well, you see it
Ooh,
snapping through, and
what a
well,
mess.
the luck may be coming through, unless Mindfreak can do a lot about it, and so far he can. Nags that having to run for the fences, and there's nowhere else to go. Paper X up 4-0.
Divide just lost the op. He just lost the op for no reason.
They've got money.
I know, but like,
Yeah, not great.
what is he? Just one AFK at the end of the round.
The fist bump is more important, man. Vibes win championships. What do they do from here? Kesnet now with the op. We saw that duel a couple of times on Split, and I mean, something had Kesnet's number for most of it.
Well, it was Davies who actually was hopping on Split, remember? So this is
right.
kind of a new. What is that? I mean, he is literally playing ranked here.
And did you see him smiling the whole time on the way down? He knows, man. He knows what he's doing. Mindfreak 1 point away from having his ult on line, and Paper X have drawn a line in the sand mid.
The molly to clear the little cubby that people play in so much.
And the dog, too, to make sure. Dude,
He could have got, if somebody was there, they could have gotten stunned in that molly. To get followed up with by this push from something. Avoiding the op completely here. And again, they don't really pivot that often.
there it is. Nags out with a good opener. On to something. Jing taking a little bit of damage.
They're going to have to rely on the rest of the push here, and that's through a Viper wall, through an alarm bot.
But the Cosmic Divide should equal things out just a bit.
That might give room for Jing to lurk out too.
Yeah, I mean, he's so far up on it already.
Oh, this flash getting clear back all gives room for Jing to go for this.
He still has 2 flashes, so he can push this in if he wants to. But they're going to try to reaggress back hauls, and Jing's there with 2. The flash on the 3rd. No one dare wait. Mindfreak gets a second, and once again, it seems like Crew just fall.
Mindfreak could get taken out here by Kesnet late.
He's got the op. Dash at the ready.
Oh, the jump spot with the smoke up right now.
Spotting 1.
They're saving now.
No window found. Dash expires. And yeah, Forsaken falls, but the round is lost.
Even worried about the flank coming through too. I feel like Jing had 3 flashes this round, I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe, or... I mean, he just held on to them for so long. You think he didn't have to use a single one until he was already back sight when the Cosmic Divide had been invested and where Paper X had already taken B. And the other interesting thing is, you know, when we see a Phoenix on Pearl, or really anywhere, but on Pearl, the #1 objective get him orbs, get him orbs, get those ults online, you know, get milks out as much as you can. I haven't seen a single play like that.
No, he hasn't gotten an orb. I'm just looking at this right now.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten a single one.
He's 4 up and 3 kills, 1 death. Here's the Molly, the grab vault coming through as well. We've seen it before. That completely denies like Kesnet the space that he got last round.
Yeah.
But he will still be able to get on that angle. I wonder if they follow it up with a smoke.
That's a bad day. Kesnet shooting off the op.
He did get a shot off on something.
Yeah.
A leg shot.
Forsaken gets his ult online. And they have to heal something back up, you're right.
This ult that Forsaken now has, he's even mauling it back right now. They broke it though. This is going to set up both Something and Mind Freak to go for it. Really valuable lurk plays through Art here. Mind Freak has to get smokes down before he goes for it though.
And he does. Both of those already blocking off the vision that Kesnet would have had otherwise. Jane committing to the plant. You see a nice sidestep of the trail vision, but no information found. Melser getting run with the Sheriff. Once again, you see the buy is not great. Davies and Klaus with Stingers, trying to make something out of nothing. I just don't know how they will. Seekers invested, they're gonna scale up. They're gonna push behind it. Something's there to greet, man. Almost lands the second chop for dashing away. Devi, patience on that kill. No rush, all calm.
And they pick up Kessen's op too, so that's going to get going again. It's time for this timeout for Crew. Maybe long past.
Yeah.
As we go through the second quarter of this game. That's just ridiculous from Something, man. A lot of people were kind of preying on the downfall of him because he's never had a global tournament yet, but... And who knows how this tournament proceeds. Right now, I think he's looking in great form.
Yeah. Yeah, I think any questions that may have been asked about him on the big stage and would there be a drop-off? My man just put his phone number.
You just doxed yourself.
Yeah. Bro, I'm really sorry for whatever you've just done to yourself. I also hear he has Riot gun buddies to give away, so text him. Text him and get it from him. I'm sure he'll hook you up.
That's just harsh. That's so mean. That might be the meanest thing, cruelest thing you've ever done to somebody.
Oh man, yeah, what adjustments do you make on the other side of this timeout? We'll take a look once again as we turn our attention back to the map. You see the buy for Crew. They've got plenty of rifles. Kesnet with the blades. You imagine with how he's handling his money, he's going to try to get another op online later in the half. But at this point, you're looking for any victory. I mean, the slightest something to get momentum back your way. And maybe it's courtesy of the blades.
This is the first time we're actually going to have a full B approach from Paper X. It makes sense for them not to go for a lot of it, given they're not running Viper Harbor, but...
I mean, that flash is going to land, and I don't know if they knew that the wall was up, so he's going to be able to get away. I mean, that cascade was so well timed. Even denying the flash. Something with the op. Creeping his way forward and dashing right back. Crew have done well to take a step back on this and absorb some of that pressure, but that's going to hurt. We're going to see the first ult from Jin go online, and my goodness, he never stopped moving. Fully holding W, fully getting a kill, and he's going to get a chance to do it again. There it is, the shorty not finding it, but Mind Freak does. Devi's going to get the spike down. Backside not safe. Link not safe. Pearl not safe.
He's going for more, man. Jing just doesn't care.
Pure disrespect, and when you're fragging like this, when everything is vibing, I get it. 7 in a row now for Paper X.
0-7, crazy.
Been on the receiving end of a half like this, or actually on the
dealing end.
The dealing end of a half like this. This has got to be shocking if you're Crew right now. Just getting destroyed here on Pearl.
And
that's why they pick it, man.
Yeah. That high turns into a real low real fast when you've got Paper X across the screen.
Yeah. Now not hoping for it, but hopefully Crew is not falling back down to the despair that the 0-9 season had them in.
Oh, that flash was a little bit off. This was the first time that Crew pushed into that, that miserable setup that
All the
Paper X
way
had been
up.
dropping towards A main.
I mean, they kind of succeeded.
Yeah.
Not completely losing the round right away.
No, yeah, and I think it was, I mean, there was a little bit less behind it, and then Jing's second flash doesn't fully curve around the wall.
The follow-up from Paper X is just so easy, though, now. They can just follow the path of least resistance. Only one Seeker goes towards the safe site, but that's actually misdirection.
And something has gotten out onto the site, has to clotheslines him.
Good idea. Almost got an exit while he's blind there.
Orb scooped up. The only rifle in the hands of Kesmet. He's playing from safety right now. As DRX looks to get the 8th round in a row, you see Devi having to dance around the silhouette that's been drawn. Excellent flash to buy some time, allow him to reposition. Looking for more, it's just a Marshall in the hands of Davies, and yeah, he deals a little bit of damage, but it's just not enough, man.
Dude, I swear, I watch Devi sometimes, and I'm like, am I watching something? Because he just pulls out some of the most ridiculous shots. Some of the shooting style as well that I see from Forsaken, from something where he's just tapping away.
Yep. Finished. I mean, that.
Do you think it'd be a good strat to just have all 5 players run the same sense, same keyboard, same mouse, and just swap to the best player whenever he dies?
Just play musical chairs. Different harbor wall out from the defense, a little bit further up to perhaps suggest that there's aggression coming down B, but that's not the case. The nice thing, though, for Crew is that it forces Paper X to invest a little bit of utility that they would be using deeper down B otherwise.
Here. Here.
It's been so difficult for Crew to find these early fights because it's so difficult to deal with the A main pressure, that B link pressure that Paper X has found so much success with. And Klaus is out here. He's playing an off angle on the backside of this.
Oh, he's tucked further back. Wisely look at Kesnet, finding timing around the wall.
Still has his dash too, the
Mind that
flash to go
box.
up.
Remember that box. New addition to the map. He doesn't go up on it off the flash. I thought he would. Jinx the first up. He's tucked. But something was aware. It doesn't matter. The Reckoning causing problems. Throwing the attack into disarray. But that's where Paper X are comfortable. They don't mind it at all. Look at how far up Jing is already. Klaus waiting on the other side, unaware. Lands the shots anyway.
Advantage finally for Crew.
30 seconds left.
For the first time all map. Can Paper X add another win to their repertoire? Yeah, you win when you're big, and you win when you're down 1. Forsaken falling 2. Mindfeek filling in on the space that was left. Klaus.
Lockdown just solidifies the round though. Yeah, it's over.
GG AD, man.
Yeah, you're right.
They
You're
8-1
absolutely
shit.
right.
Finally on the board. 10 rounds in, they're finally on the board. Deal with this aggression from Paper X through this B side very well. And it takes another 40 seconds for them to close it out. So close to actually getting success on that backside is Paper X, but Crew hang on.
Yeah, huge from Klaus. Huge from Kesmet to get the opener onto something. Paper X, so able to buy right back up. Jing has his ult once again.
So does Forsaken. Just instantly picks up this orb because there hasn't ever been challenges down B long, so it's completely free for them. Molly as well to clear the back call.
No real threat to that lockdown. The flash up, Jing takes the space and look at something. He's up in heaven, do they know? Did you hear the updraft? Yeah, it seems like they may have. You see the Molly drop at his feet. He's got to reposition. Heaven, not an option. What about Link? Can he snap? No. Melser takes care of him. The Seekers and the Trailblazer paving the way for Crew to try to get back out onto this site.
Oh, this is going to be a classic pro round. Full spam coming in.
Well, you've got that to deal with too. 2 flashes. The pop through. Davis cleans it up. And now the Seekers as well. Everything invested into this round. Nothing left on the table except for Nags at top. Or Assault, excuse me, and he falls. Crew keep them back. How does Mindfreak 1v3 this. You can't count him out.
That Cove just went up. It's not broken yet, so.
He should be good. He should be good.
Damage done here by Mind Freak is huge.
It's
It
costly.
comes so low for Crew. But if, I mean, the fact that they're able to withstand all that Yuto, you said Paper Rex threw everything at that round. The Seekers, the run it back from Jing. All the mollies, the post plant, the lockdown too. There's definitely still room for Crew to bring back this half to 4, but to win out, such a tough task. Paper Rex can at any point just switch back to the earlier game plan.
Sure.
Of pushing through Street, pushing through A main. And I like what Crew's doing. They're actually stacking that side of the map where they could get switched on and just playing full retake on B.
Here.
I'm curious to see how Nags wants to use the pit in the rest of this half.
See the setup that we saw last time. You see the dog, the hot hands, and the nano behind it to make sure Link is theirs. Poises him quite nicely for a B split.
And the fact that we've seen this like 3 times so far
Yeah.
indicates to me that they want to switch it up, but I'm seeing the exact same split coming through.
It's the same hit. It's the exact same hit. Even with the Cosmic Divide, that high tide should provide a little bit, but both duelists can just disrespect and push out and look at something. Fully pushing forward. Another kill found.
This is playing out exactly the way that the last round went too, where they had that Cosmic Divide, the same exact split.
Blades
on the flank.
Blades for Kesnet. A 1v2, a winnable one. Not able to land the shots on the first Blades, not online, but that op's gonna connect.
One more.
He's got one blade and
What the fuck? What was that?
Kesnet with the shot to inject some life into the Latin American representatives.
And he
The
was
fuck was that?
instantly up on his feet for that one. That looked like CNET's clutch from before, but
The fuck was that?
full blind at the same time. What is this?
The first a gift. The second was a gift too, man.
Watch the pop off here too. Instantly up on his feet.
All it takes is a spark. All it takes is a spark. But the problem is, you may have had a spark, but there's an overwhelming fire on the other side. See that setup once again, the op shot from Kesnel not landing. But that one does. Jing just a little ahead. A little bold, a little confident perhaps. Look at how invested Crew are into holding A.
Didn't see something. They didn't check it. They didn't check it. Oh
no, it's a disaster. It's a disaster, but Nagzet's able to stop it. Land the shots. And my goodness, I didn't think I'd say this, but Crew have somehow stabilized this in the tail end of the first half.
They might have just gotten ignited here. Could it be 4 in a row? Or could it be Divide with the 1v4? He's got a free B site to go for this plant, looking for an extra pick before going for it though. Which makes it even more difficult for him.
Oh, he tucks up ahead of the alarm bot.
All Crew have to do is wait and just go for the swing together, all flood at the same time.
Yeah, because there's no, yeah, okay. Kesnet cleans it up, Crew gets a 4 again, managing to stabilize after the shellacking that they took in the opening of this half.
This could have been a flawless half from Paper Rex. That's what people had on their mind when it was 8-0, but they get all 4.
I mean, you see it on some of the members of Paper Rex too, something hands up.
Nice
Crew once again showing signs of life. Is it going to be enough to get to the other side? We'll see. Yinsu standing by with a special guest, Sergio Aguero.
You heard that right. I am joined by Sergio Aguero, bonafide legend, and of course the owner Crew. And Dan's going to help me with some translations. Now, first of all, how are you feeling right now to know that your team went on a miracle run to be playing on the international stage?
¿Cómo te sientes en este momento con el recorrido que han tenido?
No, la verdad que muy contento de los chicos de estar acá en el Mundial. No es fácil, todos son muy buenos jugadores, así que nada, esperemos que puedan hacer un buen torneo, ¿no?
Very happy in a journey that is not easy, but all the players are good, and we're hoping it's going to be a good tournament for us.
Oh yeah, we are hoping so as well. Now, you're someone that competed at the top level for a very, very long time, so you know how these things go. So what was the biggest piece of advice you gave to your team, especially in circumstances like this when they're behind?
En situaciones como esta, tú con la experiencia que tienes como jugador, ¿qué consejo le das a los jugadores con una situación como esta?
Bueno, no, ellos saben muy bien, en esta situación tienen que estar súper tranquilos, jugar con cabeza y sobre todo tener paciencia, que es en el deporte en realidad es paciencia y estar concentrado 100%, ¿no?
Just telling them to be calm, and in sports, what you have to do is be calm and be confident and push forward. That is the way that you do it.
Oh yeah, they are looking confident in the last few rounds. And lastly, Kesnit, what do you think about him?
No, Kenny la verdad que es un buen jugador y bueno, por suerte lo tenemos con nosotros y nada, es el mejor jugador que tenemos y los otros chicos son también muy buenos, pero bueno, Kenny es el más destacado y esperemos que pueda ser un buen mundial, ¿no?
Kesnit is a great player, and we're really happy that he's with us. We're really lucky that he's with us. He's the star player. Everybody else is really good, but he's the one that's always highlighted.
Oh, he is indeed. Make some more noise for Crew, everyone. I'm going to hand this back to Doug and Bala for the second half.
All love for Crew from the faithful in the crowd, and well, I mean, they've given them a reason to be excited. The last 4 rounds going their way, keeping this thing competitive as we turn to the second half. Balla with me on the call, Paper X up cozy though, and now they're on the defensive side.
Oh, look at this. Crew is trying to dodge the Sky Flash that would come in. The Sky Flash isn't on this side of the map. Might be positioned right now. Instead, Paper X wants to just deal with this as a trap play in mid. And they might get a surprise on the other side if this A-pop comes fast here. Gonna have to play full retake on it. Yeah, the setup for the execute is ready. So this trap from Paper X, they're gonna have to shift gears.
And they've got a lot to deal with too, not just that high tide that you see, but it's been set up for the Viper Wall to cause problems too, and they're scaling up. Look at how far up Kesnit is now. And there's a flash on the other side. He tucks, no idea. Something 29 HP, and now presence found, but Kesnit's given up on it. They're not concerned with him at all anymore. They need to turn attention to the fight that's happening on the site. Fortunately for them, Melzer and Nagzet are able to keep them back. Something and Devi have to do this on their own. It's going to require a little bit of help. Something in the 1v3. Nagzet cleans him up. Another pistol. 3 of 4 in favor of Crew.
They're really dominating these super important rounds when it comes down to it throughout this series so far, but 5 in a row as well. They're starting to really get some momentum behind this. And it seems calm. It seems exactly what Aguirre was talking about for this team, for his team. Got to convert here on the anti-eco cleanly. They've got a lot of rifles invested into this, so any damage done by Paper X could be brutal to Crew's economy.
It's Marshall in the hands of something. It's the biggest thing you're going to have to deal with. And he's instantly been peppered. Has to take a step back.
And look at this orb that's being placed here by Nags. It's actually the attack side Viper orb on that choke. They use that to pop frequently through and deny information for the players.
The guy is using, just now the guy is using the KO gun that I like a lot, that I want to buy.
Really difficult. You can see
the Street Fighter one.
Some info. Something just peeked on top, and that's actually going to call the rotate. Maybe in time here for this A hit.
Well, it all depends on how fast Crew move. Yeah, you're right. We have to remember the weaponry is still not great. Devi's going to be the first here. He's got nothing but a classic. Still one flash at hand. And it was in the wrong place. Kesnit's able to find a window to get a kill on the Jing. The second is snappy. 3 on the round, and that one was fully blind. Can he get the ace? No. Denied by Klaus and Davies.
Oh, come back.
Nonetheless, the Prime gaming flawless as Crew gets to 6.
And this comeback is in full effect now. Beautiful stuff from them. And you're right, that flash miss gave some misinformation to Paper X. And Crew's able to really punish that. I think Paper X expected a little slower of a hit, which has been the cadence that Crew has gone for. throughout this series so far. Once again, dodging this flash. And you can see Molly inside of the smoke. They get Ching the orb.
I mean, it's almost the exact same setup, just inverted.
Oh, and something on the other side of the map takes down Nag, so.
Wait, look at where he was.
Yeah, all the way deep. He pushed way up, used the dash to get out, and he's going to rotate all the way back towards A. The thing is now, Crew hitting back into B might be the perfect timing. They do have an alarm route on the choke, so Forsaken is going to be able to feel that, but without the wall, without the orb here from Crew, it's going to be difficult to actually maintain the same amount of presence that you normally have with the Viper Harbor without your Viper.
Yeah, and I think the Cascade 2 is going to be the tip ahead of time for them to rotate over. You see Paper X have already dropped both duelists back towards B.
Yeah, but there's still 2 flankers on the map. And now only 3 remain. Overall, it's turned into 3 flankers essentially, and they're just getting picked apart.
I mean, this feels like what we saw previously. They've spread themselves a little thin because they find themselves down in numbers, and one falls, and there's just such a massive gaping hole in what's left. Paper X are able to pounce on that.
We've seen rounds like this on Split where Crew has to rely on 3 individual
30
bombs.
seconds left.
That was just 2-player approach in this 2v5. You can hear a pin drop in the arena right now. On the map finally erupts, and it erupts with a kill in favor of
10
Melser.
seconds left.
Device positioning here should be able to secure the round. Klaus, no idea as to what's going on. Melser's left in a 1v4. He's trying to get away and find some space.
He's just watching his teammate.
Yeah. The vibes are good. The vibes are good. Device going to get the defuse. Paper X will get to 9.
Every single anti-bonus that Paper X needs to get, they get. All 3 when Cruz won the pistols.
Wow.
There's that initial pick. I mean, it changes everything. Especially when Nags is such a key factor towards denying information on this map, like I just spoke about in the prior round. And look at this. Odin bought up here from Forsaken as we come back on screen.
And Odin.
And there's 4 players looking towards Belong. Forsaken, if he's not set up early in this. I thought he was going to try to spam through the cascade that goes down Belong. Instead, he's set up double doors.
Right where Davies is currently posted up.
6-9 curse.
Will be the contact. And you see him rotating back towards B, where you're right, 4 members are.
Yeah, but the Odin spam is going to be a lot more difficult now to get through. He's going to have to use it through the high tide when the execute comes in, and Melzer does have the reckoning too. So, does he position it far enough that it's actually forcing Forsaken to get off the angle?
I mean, look at how far back PRX is playing.
Oh, and that just got spotted too, the audio cue that the Odin was in play. It's almost a death sentence to continue through with that execute idea.
And Crew are certainly aware of that. You see him flipping the map, but Paper X wise to it. You've got the turret, you have a flash, just cleared out Art to get some info.
Man, it's crazy that Forsaken at the beginning of the round ended up putting his turret deep through that double doors.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing, if it goes unpunished, gets you insane value.
Yep.
And it does. You just got information of them coming through mid, crossing through mid as well.
No Devi for flash, or no flash for Devi currently. That's going to leave things back a little bit further. Devi should have a chance to make a real nice play here, but the Reckoning is going to cause problems. Zolt used, Kesnet disposes of it. He's trying to find another. Oh, Forsaken with the Odin!
What is going on?
Where was that from?
Just deep down flowers.
Oh, it's a disaster once more.
GG.
Prime Gaming flawless once more for Paper X.
Show me the spam. What in the world was that?
Like us, but
I mean, what value?
I'm gonna take a look at that replay once again. Yes.
Yeah, and it came in combination there with Jinx Molly too, so they're starting to move away from that and they run into the spam. It's perfect. And we got a timeout here.
Oh, Singapore fans, man.
As we get glimpses
I think PRX
must
from
be
Singapore.
4 a.m. watch party or something like that in Singapore.
That sun was coming through though. Yeah, a little bit. Either way, yeah. Plenty of reasons for the fans in Singapore to cheer. And for Crew, again, Paul, it just feels like when Crew are starting to get some footing There's just something that Paper Rex do that's different. They just flip a switch, whatever it is. And honestly, this feels a little bad to say, but it kind of feels like Paper Rex are toying with them a little bit, right? Like keeping them in it, and then as soon as you get a little confidence, they're just punched right back down.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. Other teams wouldn't be able to, keep the vibes, the momentum going after getting punched on pistol, after continuously losing streaks like this to Crew. But Paper X is the worst at it. I mean, the best at it in a sense. The worst to play against when you're trying to get that momentum going.
Sure.
And I have to point out as well, Paper X, Alex has not talked to the team one time other than the Crew timeouts because he hasn't called one.
I mean, he hasn't had to.
And Crew is down to 0, so they've got to get through this comeback without help of Coach Adam. And it's an eco round 2. Light buys, hanging her up still.
But there it is, the gravity well in the second flash. I mean, come on, 4 flashes invested. All for 1 kill, a costly one though. And they just scale so hard off of that. That's so difficult to keep track of in the moment. You've got the Sky Flash, okay. Oh, there's a Phoenix Flash too.
Yep.
Oh, there's another Sky Flash.
Yep. And it's impossible to turn them all too. The
Yeah.
The combination of Sky Flash with any other Flash in the game is really tough, but in specific, the Phoenix Flash, which is already tough to dodge. But if you dodge it and then the Sky Flash is behind you, you're getting flashed anyways.
Right.
And they're just following up with this push. There's no alarm bot here. Turret is there, but they can just walk right behind it.
Oh, I think it just got recalled too.
And meanwhile, I mean, they've got a double flank through sewers here, which is quite good, but I have to point out Forsaken getting so much information on the rest of the map. Turret got broken early in B-Link. Again, setting that up aggressively. And
there goes one of the flanks. Davies is fallen, and the flank is all that remains. Nags out with the Sheriff, him against the world. Been able to upgrade a weapon.
Might have to just save it.
Yep.
Has money to buy next round, but the bank from Paper X is starting to get up there, so decision to be made with the 15 seconds remaining, how to use it effectively.
Yeah, scrap a little, see what you can do to hurt their economy.
10 seconds left.
And he is close to a pit, so 2 kills and a death, or 1 kill. And a death would also get him to 1 orb away, so.
But alas, none of those things will be found. And so we turn our attention to the next round where Paper X get just a little bit closer to disposing Crew.
And they're going through the motions now too. Crew. It starts to feel a little bit repetitive, starts to feel like they're running out of ideas.
Yeah.
And again, to bring it back towards the LCQ run, all of that. They've gotten 5 series wins in a row after losing 9 in a row at the beginning of the year throughout the season.
Oh, they're gonna want to go aggressive here down long. Does he have ult? No, he has no ult, but he's got to flash through it. Checking back sight between the flash and the spam.
You never expect that to be going down when you have the Odin spamming, right? You expect that Odin to be deep back, and it's also covering up the footsteps of Jing there. So all of a sudden you could have gotten hit by a flash in your face.
And the deep alarm, dude, the deep alarm bot too. You know, I've used this word to describe Paper X a couple times, but I can't help but go back to it. It's suffocating.
Yep. And again, credit to Forsaken so often. They did clear the alarm bot, so that's quite good, but Forsaken gets a rap as being somebody who, like, doesn't really play a normal Sentinel role. And here he's getting so much value on all of his pieces of util, while also fragging out and going for, pretty creative Odin plays as well. How often is he just playing on this B side alone, getting info, being able to call his teammate over? And once again, it's going to happen. The Cosmic Divide comes in before. That's blocking B-Link. Forsaken is happy to chill here.
Yeah, they're stuck on the other side of it. That cove will provide some cover and allow them to get out. Klaus is still behind it. Davies has his ult, but Kesman's already dead. Spam just a little bit off, not casting in the right place. And there's that lockdown. Backside taken by Melser and Nexit as well.
That's a tough spot to deal with the lockdown too, and Mindfreak, if he gets that kill, this is a doable round, but now that they're pushed back so far, it starts to look a little impossible.
That was so bold. Fortunately for them, not punished, but well, I don't think anything's ever possible when you're talking about Paper X and they're flooding out from heaven into the cloudburst, trying to find space, and it is ill-advised.
7-11, I call it.
How do we keep finding ourselves in these positions where we're talking about Crew still having a chance? It feels like that shouldn't be the case.
Especially at the beginning of the game, when they went on that 8-0 streak.
Yeah.
The fact that we are here, pretty impressive. The fact that we are here, to me, speaks to the volumes, to the level that Crew is still maintaining here. But it's about closing out games like this. That was their issue throughout the regular season. During LCQ, they didn't really get tested in this way.
No.
Where they're down multiple times.
I mean, the quality of opponent is just so different, so much more difficult to execute in that level. But they certainly have to try, and it's going to be a try towards B into the teeth of this Killjoy defense that Forsaken has set up.
It doesn't have the Odin anymore. So it has to play a little bit more considerate. And walking back. How did they get through it?
Hey, they've contacted their way up. Forsaken, though, that knife, he's flashed, he's swung on, he's got to get away, and he can't.
How did they get through the alarm bot there? Was there a cove or something on top of it?
Oh, I think they may have just barely slipped by it. But you're right, it's still up. Forsaken's now down, though. So it's not going to matter. You see the dog trying to clear some space. Something coming through with the op, and Jing not far behind him. First shot rattled, nothing found the cove, and it's just a dry peek on the outside of it. I mean, you see firsthand the disrespect he shows in the face of utility, but he cannot disrespect Davies like that. Crew refusing to go away.
And Kesna has come alive multiple times throughout this series. He's just been beasting. That's why he's
the buy?
One of the highest rated duelists in this tournament, along with something.
Oh, don't do this now. Oh, don't do this now. That's, that was almost the fourth. It's Paper X feeling some of the pressure, perhaps throw a pause on the situation and breaking what you were alluding to earlier, Bola. First timeout, called on the Paper X side of things.
For the entire series, and I think it's warranted at this point.
Yeah.
Number one, you have to figure out how they got through that alarm bot. So Forsaken has a question to be answered, and then you also want to start getting a difference in setup coming here, because it's the same 1-4 over and over. And you're also looking at a game where something has cooled down a lot since that first half.
Sure.
And he's trying to get value. He's trying to find ways to get involved with the op, but Crew is just not finding him. So good on them, but again, it's been a stagnant approach on this defense. Always Forsaken, playing that B side, always trying to get value, other than the one time they pushed up with something. They got to start throwing more curveballs at them.
I mean, he already has two. You don't have a third.
No, come on. Boo, boo.
We'll see how things look on the other side of this timeout. Again, Crew put together the last two, sticking around in this thing. Kesnet and Nagzet both with ults.
We might get the knives battle between the two Jet players as well. And finally, they're going to go towards this A push, which Jing and Mindfreak might go for that same sort of setup where they throw the molly, they throw the flashes in. Actually, Levi's coming around too.
I think they will, because Jing is just 1 point away from having his ult online. So there's priority and there's value in that orb. He's going to get it for free. Now, Crew can re-aggress with no real idea of what's on the other side.
This is dangerous to stick around in A main here when Jing does have that ult. Paper X is known to re-aggress at a moment's notice. That's why they put up the turret. That's why they re-dog through mid.
It's
and
interesting.
Spot Jing again is repositioned. They know what's going on.
It's interesting too. Baby Bay was talking about it on the desk. You want to fight fire with fire. Them knowing that he's just 1 point away from the ult and not taking the fight. Holy smokes! Something. What? Yeah? You just tired of the game? You want to finish this off?
Dude, that's such a high-level play right there from something. The dog spots Jing. They see the reposition. They think that push is going to come through Art instead, and something is perfectly timed to push into A main, where they completely don't expect a second duelist.
And just to do it so boldly and so confidently by himself. And he's going to find more with the blades, not able to get the third, but so much damage already done. Melser on the repeat, Nagzet dipping his way back in, but there's the ult, there's the flash, nothing found. Very good. Very well handled by Melser. Can he keep them in this by himself? Nags it in a 1v3, and he's so far out, he's so wide, cannot control the spray, cannot control the situation. Paper Rex series point.
I thought Crew was doing a great job in that initial approach to the round, but then Paper Rex come through with, again, super high level play from something. It's such a good call. Would love to know which player, which IGL on Paper Rex is calling that one.
Whose cue is that?
Yeah, because that is very nice stuff. And now they've got the lockdown too, which is such a key tool that they can return to playing Forsaken on this B site. The retakes will be strong for them.
Jing is so far up.
GG.
Devi is there, tucked behind him.
Oh,
He's going to get pushed off that angle. The turret spots a little, and you see both initiators with flashes at the ready.
That's crazy too, because that's usually a cue that they're going to play up close and try to punish you as you fall off of that molly position. Instead, neither player peek switch. Yep, exactly. They're trying to bait him in when they think he's not there, and all of a sudden things are falling apart. But they're backside. Never mind.
Backside's not going to matter. Klaus keeps one down. Seeker's used and Spike planted a 2v4 just to stay alive. Something waiting this out. Oh, and now going forward, he's got. Oof, I thought he was going to go.
Spot him up close, though. He's going for info.
He has no idea. He drops him, but Klaus is left alone. I mean, this from Paper Rex is just too much to handle. We saw it on Split. We'll see it here on Pearl. An inevitability. Klaus falls. Paper Rex take down another.
And they look absolutely poised to put themselves in contention to challenge Fnatic in this tournament. Because there's key factors that you come out here you look for. If you're looking for a Paper Rex run at Champions, so you're looking for something to be incredibly good, you're looking for the calling structure to still be fantastic, and you're looking for that magic that they had at Tokyo.
And all three of them were there. I mean, every single box was checked. You saw it. And I think there were a couple of questions answered, maybe to a lesser degree, though, from the side of Crew, because you wonder, yeah, they had an insane LCQ run. What would their form be like on the bigger stage?
Yep.
Under the brighter lights, and there was some.
No, actually, for sure.
Yeah, there was some. It's so hard to gauge, though, when it's Paper Rex on the other side.
Absolutely.
That's a brutal litmus test to have to deal with first.
Yeah, and I think the concerns are
2
we
matches.
were on such a high coming out after LCQ that it becomes difficult for sure to gauge how they're going to bounce back. But for Paper X, I gotta say that debut from something was the most anticipated of any player ever at a global tournament, I feel like, since maybe 10's back at the first land at Reykjavik. Sure. And he delivered, I think, in a big way, especially on the Split.
Yeah, he had a couple of big moments really on both maps. You're right, more so on Split, but he showed why he's so highly anticipated, why he's so thoroughly respected. It was an outrageous performance from Paper X from top to bottom, from the W gaming that we've all known to grow and love to the depth behind the strategy, dismantles Crew, and takes us to throwing it to the desk.
You know, guys, something, you could say that was something else.
What did Sean say earlier? I'm going to cut my hands off.
Oh, man. Well, one thing, though, for certain is that if Paper X continue to play like this, look, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, guys, but they look like championship contenders here. Actually, we want to take you back to a round, all the way over to round 3. And this, for us, illustrates, I think, the reason why this Paper X team is so exciting, baby, because they are bringing fun ideas like putting something on a sniper, then just trading it off to Devi mid-round, because why not?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even buying an op, investing into an op on
round 3.
In round 3, that's your bonus round. I mean, it's a wild card thing, you know, and it caught Crew off guard, and then cycling it to the sky. It's like, you don't think a sky is going to have an op after you just saw a Jet get an op kill at B long. So it's like, what is going on? Like, they can't read these guys.
It's just not fair. It's not fair that they innovate so hard. They have something, they have Jing on the duelist. and there's no drop-off when it comes to like Divide, Forsaken, and Mindfreak is doing nutty things and clutching out rounds too. Like they just have no holes in this team right now. They're poised to make a run here.
For sure. But you know what though? I do want to give some love to Crew, and it actually takes us over to a HyperX Reflex moment from Kesnet round 11. You gotta give love to this guy because Kesnet was playing a great game and was actually quite instrumental, Sean, in this Crew team making the comeback. So credit deserved where credit is due, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I'm praising PRX so much is because I thought this was a pretty well-played game by Crew. I thought Kesnet showed up. I think some of the support players on Crew showed up. I think they brought a lot of tactical diversity throughout this game. This was just all PRX though. I mean, like, yeah, this clip was unreal. The whole arena just popped off. That was crazy. So sick.
Yeah, but it goes to show though, Baby Bay, that like even when you're down, you're definitely not out. But PaperX is truly a different type of team.
Yeah, I mean, like for a minute there, we were like, wait, is the Crew comeback gonna happen? Like, is this happening again? But then, you know, that timeout, you know, the PRX coach talked to him and they brought it back and they closed it out.
Yeah, and it worked out beautifully for them. PaperX move on and look good doing it. Let's go ahead and send it over to Into, standing by the stage with Forsaken. Yes, it is Verizon.
That is right, everybody. Give a warm welcome to Forsaken. Hello, Forsaken. Congratulations on that series. Now, in Tokyo, you guys made a very impressive run. Some people will call it a greatness from you guys, considering something wasn't with you. Now something is here. I think everybody's expectations are quite high. So talk me through what the difference is playing with something in this tournament compared to Tokyo.
I think when we play against CGRS, definitely he has like such a good personalities, and we always laugh, even though like we lost or whatever, because like we just like trust in teammate. But with something now, I think we're really confident with something, but still PaperX always come with zero expectations. We always play for fun, we always enjoy the game. So no matter if you win, we lose, doesn't matter. If you lose, we just learn from it. So I think, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I think a lot of you and your teammates at Tokyo were kind of saying, we don't really have expectations. You know, it is what it is. We're just going to have fun. But surely with something here in this tournament, your expectations are there, right? You want to take it all the way for your first trophy.
I mean, for sure, my goal in here is to take the trophy for PaperX and hope we can like make it come true. So yeah.
I think this is probably your best chance, would you agree? A lot of other people would say so, your best chance ever to take a trophy?
I guess so.
Yeah, okay. Now, with something being here, I think Alex was saying that it also affects you a little bit because Tokyo, you were still playing Jet, Neon, Duelist. But in this tournament, do you feel like your role is going to be a little bit more different?
Yeah, I mean, in Tokyo before, I think I felt like it's a little bit shaky because I have to like switch back role again and again, like Jet, and I have to play like Fate, like Sentinel, and it's really hard. But I think now I will become flexible because something is here now, so I will pure flexible, I think.
Ooh. And one more is that a lot of people talk about how to counter your playstyle as a team, and a lot of teams, they feel like they have what it takes to counter you. But from your perspective, what kind of playstyles do you think you guys are good against, and what kind of playstyles do you think you guys are bad against?
I would say maybe, I think we are good at any playstyle, but just, I think if you guys want to counter me, you guys have to like diff our aim, I guess, that's it. If you guys win our aim, I think definitely we will lose.
Not many people are going to be able to do that. Thank you very much, Forsaken. One more time, guys, Forsaken,
thank you guys.
for joining me. And we're going to be finding out very soon who PaperX are going to be going up against, because after this, EDG and Giants will be joining the stage.
It's the plucky underdogs from the Americas region versus the dominant force from the Pacific. You got PaperX taking on Crew in a matchup that has been hotly anticipated once the brackets were revealed. This game is going to be awesome.
Drops a pop shot, just a warning to let him know what's in play. There it is, right into his face, and the shorty drops him. 73 HP, and he's going in for more. A second, perhaps a third. Something finds it.
Just pick him, bro. His team is, I don't know, man.
Divine a 1v3, and once again, the possibility that they don't know. Trying to find some space down low. He's dropped out onto Melser. Davies is going to have to get half. He's going to stick it. He's going to try to stick it. No, he pulls off, and Divine with 3. PaperX with 8 in the Red Bull clutch.
Really happy happy to have this position bolstered.
He's also got the nade. He's got the satchels. That's the first dead. He's swinging around looking for the second and finds it. The third falls too. One around for Paper Rex.
I do that all the time.
13-7. The gravity, well, you see him snapping through, and well, that luck may be coming through, unless Mindfreak can do a lot about it, and so far he can. Nags at having to run for the fences, and there's nowhere else to go. A 1v2, a winnable one. Not able to land the shots on the first blade's not aligned, but that op's gonna connect.
He has one more.
He's got one blade, and Kazia with the shot. Trying to find another. Oh, Forsaken with the Odin!
What is going on?
Where was that from?
Just deep down flowers.
Oh, it's a disaster once more. An inevitability.
Get wrecked.
Paper X take down another.
And they look absolutely poised to put themselves in contention to challenge Fnatic in this tournament.
Calling all students. Compete in the ultimate Valorant competition.
The Red Bull cap was clutched.
Register now for your national qualifier.